And let's begin with our good friend Reggie. Um, okay, so this was announced last week, or this past week. No, last week, I should say. But this article was posted on GameSpot. Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils Aime, is retiring, and Doug Bowser to take over. This is written by, let me get the Chris Perra on GameSpot.com. Reggie Fils Aime, the longtime president and COO of Nintendo of America, will retire this spring. He and the company announced in a joint statement on Thursday. Taking over his role will be the company's current senior vice president of sales and marketing, Doug Bowser, the man whose names require a yes, really, after every mention. Fils Aime. Oh, you're gone. I'll fix you in a second. You're not on stream.
I was going to mention it after you read the article. So
Reggie has been in this role for more than a decade, having gotten the job in May 2006, following a 3-year stint as the executive VP of sales and marketing. He has effectively served as the company's face in North American territories for much of his tenure as president. He is often seen in Nintendo Direct streams and was often the primary presenter back when the company did live E3 media briefings. Reggie stood out both due to his Terminator-like stature and meme-friendly antics, like when he decided to attempt to convince a Western audience to take notice of Yokai Watch. Nintendo owns a part of my heart forever, Reggie said in a press release revealing his departure. It's a part that is filled with gratitude for the incredible talented people I've worked with, for the opportunity to represent each wonderful brand, and most of all, I feel like a member of the world's most positive, enduring gamer community. As I look forward to departing in both good health and good humor, this is not game over for me, but instead leveling up to more time with my wife, friends, and family. This is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you retire, walking away. This is essentially the ending of Street Fighter, where Ryu is going out into the sunset. Essentially, what that is.
yeah, I mean he's essentially going out on top. I mean he's responsible for getting a lot of games here to America. Um, Not solely responsible, but responsible nonetheless. He's again been the face of Nintendo of America for such a long time that I don't think I know of a time where he wasn't. Like I'm trying to think back to E3s that I watched where maybe he wasn't. I'm thinking maybe like when they introduced the Wii.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's been around for quite some time. Like he's been in it for about, I want to say, as far as I know, like 13 years. As far as we known him in the life, or as far as like when he debuted, because like, when he initially debuted, I'll do it for now. When he initially debuted, like he literally came out and said like, "My name is Reggie Fils Aime. I'm here to take names, kick ass, and something into transition into the next Nintendo game they were going to announce." And at first, people were actually pretty afraid of him just because of how big he is. But like after a while, like
he's large.
he is a big man. He is
He's very tall.
absolutely.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, and not. I'm not in no way, shape, or form trying to sound. When you compare his size to the average stature of a Japanese man,
I mean, yes, one would.
I mean, I would argue that also Doug Bowser's pretty short too. But
Yeah.
like when he's standing next to Shigeru Miyamoto or what's the guy's name? The guy that basically helped. He died. He died as CEO of Nintendo.
Oh,
The
yeah,
hell's his
yeah.
name? Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too, actually, right now. I can look it up while you're talking, actually. But go on.
Yeah, but those men are they have short statures, and you put Reggie next to them, and Reggie looks like a goddamn giant.
Iwata, by the way, you're thinking of.
Iwata, thank you. Fuck me, that was killing me. But whenever Reggie would do anything in conference form or in these directs, whenever he was on stage, he took a specific commanding presence. It wasn't a "Hey guys, look at me, I'm a wacky CEO." It was never that. You always knew he was business, but he was like, I'm still Nintendo, and Nintendo's fun. So let's have some fun while we be fun. Like I don't know, man. Like he's been awesome. I've never had a situation where I was upset about Reggie. I was like, oh, he's just a suit.
And
He doesn't care about us gamers. He's just a suit. I never felt that way about him.
absolutely, and yeah, like he definitely. I'm not sure if he was the first or one of the like very few people to kind of be that suit that everybody loves. But like he definitely was out there like talking to people. He was, as we see like these videos of the memes he got into, like he definitely like kind of realizes his audience and kind of realize what they're into. And
Okay, so I want to read this real quick
Okay.
because it's pretty cool. So Reggie's presence in Nintendo was highlighted during Nintendo's press conference in the 2004 E3. The year prior, Nintendo's press conference was considered a quiet and dry affair compared to the conferences given by Microsoft and Sony. While Nintendo Worldwide President Satoru Iwata and other Japanese executives were present, the only American on stage was George Harrison, and had remained stoic during the conference. Nintendo was also losing the sixth console generation. The Nintendo GameCube was struggling against the PS2 and the Xbox original. And long-time Nintendo fans were despondent over Nintendo's current state. Reggie, hired after the 2003 conference, served to lead off the 2004 conference as his first as his first introduction to the public. He led off the conference with, "My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass and taking names, and we're about making games." His presentation was considered aggressive and at one point directly attacked the approaches that Microsoft and Sony were taking with handling the video game content on their consoles. His theatrical antics, flying in the face of Nintendo's long-standing conservative image, gained a cult following soon after, with many gamers referring to him as the Reginator.
Wow. Yeah.
So he basically, he basically changed how America kind of viewed Nintendo during the Wii and the Wii U's like rough rocky start there. Because if you remember, Anthony, one of the big things about the Wii, it only gained popularity after release. PS4, like, okay, I think I've talked about it on this podcast before, but I was working at Walmart in the electronics section when the Wii and the PS4 were released. A year prior, the Xbox 360 was released, so I wasn't there for that. But when we released those consoles, the night we released the PS4, there were a bunch of stolen ones around the town, across the country. There was trucks stolen, apparently, that had a bunch. So male associates were tasked 2 at a time to walk with customers back to their car with their PS4 in hand. The bags we gave them were black, so that way anyone outside couldn't detect it whether they had a PS4 or not. A week later, we released the Wii. Almost said Wii. We released the Wii. Do you know how many people were selling the Wiis to customers?
I
Me.
would. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh wow.
It was just me. I had a cart of them. I had about 35 of them. Sold all 35, but it was just me. Now, I bring this up to a point because it wasn't until like 3 weeks later did we start getting that huge snowball effect of people wanting the Wii and it never being in stock. And I put a lot of that behind Reggie's work in presenting the Wii as something that anyone can play to the American audience.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Reggie, I don't know that Nintendo would have survived the 7th and 8th console generation.
That is very true. I think that Nintendo,
or at least here in America, it would.
Right. Reggie definitely became that connecting point between Nintendo Japan and the U.S. and like explaining like how we consume content and how we accept things for what they are. And and Reggie presented it in such a way that made it easy for a lot of us to understand, like, oh, so this is this and this and this. and he's been doing it for a very long time, 13 years. So yeah, as I said before, this is the way you go out in terms of your somebody of Reggie stature, both physically and in the game industry. The
Yep.
the one thing I would like to point out before we move on to the next topic is the way he went out. There was no controversies. There was no him leaving to another company. There was no him scandal wise, like everything bullet point in terms of, hey, this is probably the best way to go out if you are going to go out. So,
Yeah, Reggie, have a good retirement, man. I hope to see you at conferences or an E3, something in general. I don't want him to be a stranger to.
oh no, he'll be around. Like he'll be around. There's no worries on that.